alive. That's from former President Goodluck Jonathan. And from one former president to another former vice president, Atiku Abubakar is saying, I will not step aside. ADC committed to open competitive process. That's still from the Zane newspaper. Troops arrest 8 terrorists linked to Gamboro Market Mosque suicide bombing. And airport police arrest international romance fraud suspect involved in $1 billion scam. Okay, and ADC chieftain and former governor of Anambra State, Peter Obi, saying Nigeria is not poor, but poorly governed. All right, still staying with this day newspaper, 206 die of Lassa fever in Nigeria last year, says the NCDC. All right, we move on to the Nation newspaper. 2027 ADC rolls out automatic tickets for Atiku Obi. Okay, Nigerian sculpture emerges best painter in Qatar. And federal government inaugurates committee to train 1 million Nigerians in digital skills. And President mourns Professor Sunday Achai. Constitution review. National Assembly proposes conclusion of election petitions before inauguration. And students rally support for tax laws, shelve protest plan, and support base swells for Tinubu in Rivers State. All right, we move on to the Sun newspaper now. From Niger State, farmers uncover explosive devices planted by terrorists. And a little bit of sport here on AFCON, Nigeria to face Algeria in quarterfinal. And still on AFCON, Akko Adams returns to Super Eagles camp after visiting sick mother. And on EPL, Mourinho reacts to Man United's decision to sack Amorim. And next is the cable newspaper now. Nimasa to maritime operators conduct self-audit within 30 days or lose license. And still staying with the cable, no presidential aspirant will step down in ADC, says Atiku. An ex-DSS DG, Lawandara, declares Katsina governorship bid, vows to tackle insecurity. And Peter Obi is saying Nigeria can afford basic necessities, but they are not prioritized due to incompetent leadership. And Tinubu appoints first female DG of Nigerian Law School. And Dele Momodu is saying some groups have brought aggression into ADC over presidential ticket. And back to sport, NFF says crisis between Osimhen and Lookman has been resolved. We say thank God for that. And Ben Kanu to Southeast, support Tinubu in 2027. Don't waste your votes. Asari Dokubo host Wike says he will do everything to ensure Tinubu succeeds. And we move on to the Guardian newspaper, leads with the sports story. 2025 AFCON, Osimhen not leaving Eagles camp, says NFF official. And the sad story here, OAU medical student dies in his sleep. Oh, wow. And another sad story, resident doctors to withdraw services from January the 12th. We hope it wouldn't come to that. The Chief of Army Staff pledges normalcy in polity amid calls for state policing, forest guards. And on 2027, Diri, Senators, Asari Dokubo, APC stakeholders endorse Tinubu. And the United Nations is saying U.S. operation in Venezuela undermine international law. And back home, Inspector General of Police orders mobilization of withdrawn VIP escorts, deploys DIG 17 CPs. And resident doctors bicker over negotiation begins strike January the 12th. Embattled Pastor Okafor submits self to police. Over 140 million Nigerians may become poorer by December. Is it December of 2025 or December of 2026? We don't know. Disco collects 1.13 trillion naira in 6 months. And court jails ex-Lagos education director for stealing 48 million naira. And nurses union condemns killing of member, demands justice in Abuja. And Cross River community seeks review of Lagos Calabar Highway compensation. And community customs seizes 75 containers of illicit goods worth 47.6 billion naira in Port Harcourt. All right, we move on to New Telegraph now. PDP crisis, Jonathan promises reassuring, that's Turaki. And 2027 presidency, Atiku alleges APC plot to destabilize ADC. Tinubu appoints first female Director General of Nigeria Law School. Lassa fever death toll hits 206 despite drop in new cases. 2027 election, Sokoto APC endorses Tinubu Aliyu for second term. And on 2027 election, Tinubu will pull over 1 million votes in Plateau. And Nawaj FCT seeks partnership with Chinese embassy for capacity building. Pro-Tinubu group targets 50 voters in polling units in Ondo. All right, Vanguard newspaper is next now. Terrorist rampage in Kwara, Katsina, Kaduna, many abducted. Not again. Nigeria's democracy facing existential threats. That's from former Vice President Atiku Abubakar. And on Venezuela, NIA foreign policy expert slam US strike Maduro's capture. And 5.36 million electricity customers remain without meters. That's from the NERC. And PDP crisis, what Jonathan told party leaders in Abuja. That's from Turaki. Yusuf can defect to NNPP mandate. Okay, Yusuf can defect with NNPP mandate like you did to PDP. Shakara tells Kwakwanso. 2027 presidential ticket, Dele Momodu cautions against weaker scenario in ADC. And on Rivers, you can't cry foul now. PDP blast APC over Wike. And still from PDP to NNPP, we have Governor Yusuf, not Kwankwaso, is our national leader. NNPP scribe. All right, Daily Trust is our next newspaper now. PDP alive, strong. That's from former President Goodluck Jonathan. Soldiers recover weapons linked to criminal kingpin in Taraba. INEC begins voter registration second phase. All right, the Punch newspaper is next now. Electricity subsidy nears 2 trillion naira yearly. And on banditry, police free 6 vigilantes arrested by army. On ADC ticket, Atiku rejects call to step down, attacks Tinubu. We move on to the Tribune newspaper now. Plot to destabilize ADC will fail, Atiku. And 2027 PDP leaders, Jonathan meet over state of party. All right, we move on to pen pushing now, and we have the story here. Nigerian Communications Commission emerges winner at Digital Awareness Program Award. And for more on that, you can check out penpushing.com, your source of authentic news globally. All right, we'll take a short break now. When we return, we will go into the second half of the show. It's still Super Citizen newspaper review on Citizen 93.7 FM Abuja. Please don't go away. The program returns in a moment. Thank you so much for staying tuned. It's still Super Citizen newspaper review on Citizen 93.7 FM Abuja. This is the second half of the show where we unveil our guests, where we open the phone lines, and also where we look at the stories in details. All right, the phone lines are open. You can join the conversation. Call us on 0903 2229 818 222225. And don't forget, you can send a WhatsApp message. And don't forget, you can send a WhatsApp message on any of the two numbers. All right, our guests are ready. I'll start with Mr. Salmon Salami, Chief Operating Officer, Citizen 93.7 FM Abuja. Good morning, sir.
Very good morning to you, Lawrence, and good morning to our Super Citizen listeners.
All right, and we have Dr. Kazim Akireti, who is also in the studio. He is the head of Digital Media Voice of Nigeria. Welcome to the show, sir.
Thank you so much. Good morning, Super Citizen listeners.
And not forgetting that Dr. Kazim is also, Dr. Akireti is also a former chairman of the Nigeria Union of Journalists Lagos Council. Gentlemen, we have a lot, especially on the political scene. The political parties seem to be doing what they know how to do best. Although formally, INEC has not formally flagged off campaign, but campaign started. Somebody said campaign started immediately after the end of 2023 election. So this is what we are saying. So let's start. I think we start with political stories first. This day, newspaper is our guide for the first story. Jonathan, despite many defections to ruling APC, PDP is still strong. Okay, I think we just need to take a short break now. We will be back in a moment. All right, thank you so much for staying tuned. It's still Super Citizen Newspaper Review on Citizen 93.7 FM Abuja. As we were saying, the political stories are here. Let me start with Dr. Akinriti. Former President Goodluck Jonathan yesterday paid a visit to the Turaki-led PDP and assured them that the party, despite public perception, is still on course.
Well, absolutely. I think that reassurance was needed, more needed at this point in time, because the reality on ground is that, look, PDP still has the structure across length and breadth of Nigeria. And being a former ruling party, PDP is a first come with any time, any day, despite the challenges that it had won, because Tinubu was the only surviving governor then under AD. And then so for me, I still believe that PDP, yes, can still come back. But it will not depend on the sheer determination of the leadership. And that is more reason why by now, actually, it should be in the thinking and the process of the PDP leadership to see how they can reach out, to the Wike faction. No matter what happens, because he has not moved in, he has not moved out of the PDP. Officially, he has not declared. They were the ones suspended him. It's because of his interests cannot really be managed appropriately when it was needed most. But I still believe that PDP still have what it takes. I don't believe that the party is dead ordinarily. They can still survive this vicissitude if they can get their acts right.
Mr. Salami, is it a matter of a little too late for the party, for what former President Jonathan is doing?
Well, I want to thank former President Jonathan for saying what he said, for giving hope where hope is needed. In actual fact, the elixir of life is hope. Without hope, living becomes a bit dull and uninteresting. Hope keeps you keep hope alive.
Yeah.
That is how I put it. But more than wishful thinking, there is problem, no doubt about that. The problem in PDP is visible to the blind. It is audible too to the deaf and perhaps tangible to the paralytic. That is the reality. In droves, people are leaving PDP for reasons best known to them and known to us too, which we may not want to analyze. But the fact remains that there is the need for the leadership of PDP to put their house in order. Like in other parties too, there's still the need to manage conflicting interests. And like I said, that going forward, there will always be alignment and realignment of political forces. And managing conflicts, interests, and interests. That is what will sustain a party. It's still a waiting game in politics. An hour is too long.
All right, before we leave this, Dr. Akinriti, you said something about the party needs to also manage the interest of FCT Minister Wike. As a PDP as a party, how do you manage the interest of this minister who is openly campaigning for the presidential candidate of another party? How do you manage his interest in your own party?
Well, it's about discussion. And in politics, you never say die. It is not over when it is over. In politics, anything can change within a question of an hour or seconds. What I think they will need to do is ready to engage in about, look, what really do you want? And I think if there is no conversation on that, because what he wants is about his interest. It was in getting hold of, for example,
The
in
structures.
Rivers, the structures. Leave the structure for him. If you can do that, obviously he won't be. But that's why I'm not saying it's not really too late for them to really get him around to sit, across the table and you can discuss. If actually, it's the best interest of the party at the long run. However, I keep saying it. Wike is someone that look. You might not like him. You might dislike him. You can also, but you're going to like him because of certain values that he possesses. Look, he has what we call organic followership.
Okay, but gentlemen, I am looking at is the PDP when the former president is saying PDP is alive and strong? Is he talking about the structures of the party, or gentlemen, are we sincerely believing that the PDP can put up a fight in the presidential election?
They may not put a fight in the presidential election, but they can put some showing in other areas,
maintain their structures across the country.
Yes, because that is, structure is important. Why did Obi? Why did he lost the election? Because they don't want to believe that he lost the election. The proper structure wasn't there. Labour Party doesn't have the real structure that can really, assuage, that can bring the reality, the votes that they needed in crucial areas in certain parts of Nigeria. And so it was only the name, it was only the personality of Peter Obi that actually lifted up Labour Party. Besides that, there was nothing there. The structure wasn't on ground. But you can see that the PDP, despite the fact that, Atiku was there, you can see how many votes he was able to garner. And then you can also see what, if there had been disagreement, if Obi had not left PDP at that time, it could have been a straight fight between APC and PDP as at then. And then who knows, something else could have happened, But if you put the votes of Peter Obi in a Labour Party and PDP together, obviously APC was dusted. It was a done deal. But perhaps because they couldn't manage the interests of Peter Obi then, that was why they lost the election. Ab initio. However, they were also dealing with a master produced strategist who actually understand what it takes at the point in time to really hit hard on his opponents. And that is Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu. And that's you can see the build up now. The calculation so far is that, look, we are going to take vote from here, and put it in our stronghold, and then done and dusted. The second time we'll have been here with them. You see what's really going to happen. I do not see a possibility, perhaps I may be wrong, in the final analysis that all those interests in Labour Party, in PDP will be able to coalesce and face APC at the post at the last minute. It seems it's not going to be like, because the result about interests, personal interests and not national interests.
All right, Mr. Salami, wanted to say something? Or we move on?
Let us move.
All right, we move on from the PDP now. Let's move on to the ADC. And the ADC is also talking. The party has ruled out automatic tickets for anybody. Atiku Abubakar is saying, no pressure on me. Don't put pressure on me. I'm not stepping down for anybody. Let everybody go to the field. Mrs. Salami, let's start from you.
You see, dreamers don't see. They only hallucinate. I said it the other time that ADC does not belong to Atiku. But Atiku has more than a passing grip and interest in ADC. In fact, I stopped short of saying that ADC is what I call SPV.
Special Purpose Vehicle.
Yes. And just like in Porsche, there is no way somebody will risk his life to do something and you say you should hand over that thing to you. Well, those who don't understand politics or those who think politics is played on social media, they are just hallucinating. Atiku has come out clean now that, look, there is going to be a primary. He stopped short of saying it because he has said that he will not step down. It only means that you are going to test your strength and might during a primary. And Let us wait for a miracle to happen, especially the social media warriors, if they are ADC members. And let us see the structure that is on ground for other would-be contestants to use. As it is now, it is almost clear that if you throw a knife up 30 times, it is the side that you will see when it reaches the ground. I will leave it at that.
All right, Dr. Kennedy, for now, we have maybe 3 front runners, Atiku Abubakar, Peter Obi, and Rotimi Amaechi for now, who have indicated interest. And it looks like a straight fight between the 3 of them. But for some people who say that Atiku is ahead of the others.
Look, go to a primary with Atiku in ADC. I mean, he's going to win. It is so clear. Look, one thing you also need to give to Atiku Abubakar, just like President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, is the followership that they've garnered over the years. And apart from followership, they also have there's loyalty to these two personalities. And it cut across length and breadth of Nigeria. These two guys, they just have it. You have to give it to them. And that's what I'm saying. You see, already when Obi was coming, for one of the things that will go against it, he doesn't like go through primaries. He did 2 primaries on the PDP. What happened? In fact, he left shortly before the primaries. Actually, really. So he went to Labour Party to pick the ticket. Gratuitously, and he went there. He went to the election, and the same thing will almost repeat itself in ADC, because even after joining the party, you can see some of his followers. Some of them say, "No, if is there a presidential ticket or not, and we're not going to play a second fiddle." No, you can't be saying that so early when you are coming to the party, because if structure for structure, grit for grit, money for money, people look. No one can match Atiku Abubakar in ADC to clean that ticket. Well, the only person I've also seen that also going to do a straight fight with that is Rotimi Amaechi. You can't also dismiss him. However little, you could see how what he did in the APC primaries then. People were looking towards Vice President Oshibajo to come second. But look at what Amaechi did. Amaechi came second. After that for the primaries. So very good showing. So the ADCs, that's what I'm telling you, we're actually going back to do the analysis. I do not see how they will be able to subject their interest, their personal interest, for the national interest or for the party interest at the end of the day within the ADC. In fact, it's going to be a real battle royale. That's the what do you call it? The primaries of ADC is going to be the final showing. Go and mark it down. APC is done and dusted. Ajwajo is going to get the tickets. And the PDP, one way or the other, might not have a flag bearer. So it leaves the coast quite clear. So, and if ADC also decided to go into serious, infighting, fractions among them after the primary, to your tent to Israel. I mean, people should not, I want to let's remind the people should not cry now, or then that's going to be, your election is rigged. No! You start your work right now. Start doing your permutation now. If ADC couldn't get it right at the party primaries, and there was discordant tunes among those flag bearers, right? So they should not cry foul. I don't believe if APC, if Bola Tinubu decided to beat them silly at the election, they shouldn't. Yeah,
Dr. Kennedy, I like what you said, because you see, the general elections are completely different from primaries, from national convention, because there you have most times delegates, and the strategies are different.
Yes.
And if somebody is getting into a party now, others have been there. I'm sure the others, Atiku and Amaechi, are already grounded with members of the party across the country, because it's not just one person, it's not just one state, it's going to be delegates from across the country. So your ability to mobilize, to have structures within the party, it's a completely different game from even in a general election. So the odds are, for now, really against Peter Obi in ADC in terms of that primaries.
No, one shot, last shot, sir. I'm just telling you some of the realities on ground. Look, there is no way that primaries will not be, will not cause rancor within ADC, and they might not be able to get their acts together towards a general election. 3 things would define even that particular, what do you call it, the ADC primaries, religion will play a very big role. Ethnicity will play a very big role. And then personalities of the contestants will also come to play. In 3 of these, my brother,
you're leaving out one thing.
Money.
No, I know. Money is that's why you are going to. We shouldn't be saying money because don't let us encourage vote buying.
No.
I decided to be silent on that issue.
When we say money, it doesn't mean vote buying because you need resources to move around the country, to meet delegates. You need resources for logistics. You need resources for your media campaign, and this runs into millions.
No, these three guys, they will people will foot the bill for them. But at the end of the day, when they really get to the ground, when they at that convention for the voting, my brother, is really going to be these are the 3 things that will be very, very important to the delegates at the end of the day. Because they will have done all those ones at the end. Look at what happened at APC primaries in Lagos. I mean, it was clear.
2015.
In 2015, it was clear. I mean, if it's not because of Asiwaju Tinubu then, that was the real reassurance. And that was why you go and read the book on Buhari. Go and read that book very well. You could see that he was the last man standing with Buhari, with everything, with money, with structure, and then with this issue of personality and even the religion. They were able to craft this thing. We were all there. We were all there then in Lagos. It was almost at the dead end for Buhari. But when Atiku came with every forces, it was granted that, if care was not taken, Atiku will win that primary. But here you are. Asiwaju had to step in with everything that he has and pull the trigger against Atiku. And that's one of the reasons why it will be difficult to manage the real rift between Atiku Abubakar and President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. They kept close, they were good friends and everything, but in terms of ambition and personal interest, 2 ways apart.
Exactly. All right, gentlemen, let's move on to constitutional issues now from party politics. The National Assembly is proposing the conclusion of all election petitions before the swearing in of winners. This has been on the plate for a long time. Mr. Salami, will this make any difference? Is it visible?
They know they are playing politics. It's still part of politics because we know it's not visible. I won't waste time on that.
So why are you saying it's not visible? It's just a matter of the INEC to adjust timetable and plan ahead. Dr.
Lawrence, you see, when you look at the antecedents of the National Assembly vis-a-vis constitutional amendment, what comes first, like any other thing, is their interest. Look at the sequence of election. You see, the truth is this. It's not as if they don't know what is right. They do know. But what is more important is not necessarily what is right, but how does this thing affect us? And that is the way we play our politics here. It's unfortunate though. But what is and what ought to be, they are different things.
And Dr. Akirete, isn't that supposed to be naturally a good idea?
Well, it's not. It's a good idea, but the possibility, the realization of that idea is a question mark. Because don't forget, that's why I align with my brother about the interest of politicians. At the end of the day, even in the 100 of that election, they also know what they are doing. They know that once we have the presidential election first, it's done and dusted. Every other thing will just be will just falling, and they know actually where they are going. Look, with the current National Assembly, brother, I do not see the possibility of that idea, or the feasibility, except if INEC could, they can lead the way. If they can adjust the timetable appropriately to give room at the 180 days, after the announcement of the election, then you can go through, litigations and the rest, and then apparently in other parts of even West Africa, look at what happened in Guinea-Conakry. I mean, they had the election. A week after, the Constitutional Court confirmed the winner. And also, it could also happen in Nigeria, but with the willingness of the politicians. If they want to sacrifice their own personal interest for national interest, well, we could get there.
I also think it has to do with our ability to have that political will, because it's a constitutional issue. If we want to do this, INEC cannot on its own do that, because there has to be, that window has to be expanded. The 180 days will not be enough. At the end of the day, INEC will need to, the National Assembly will need to amend the constitution and give INEC the leeway to fashion its timetable in order. But one thing that amuses me, Dr. Akinreti and Mr. Salam, is that we see elections all over the world. Most times, highest is a month, election petitions are taken care of. In Nigeria, we have the longest lifespan open for determination of elections, especially the presidential election, from the tribunal to the Court of Appeal to the Supreme Court. And you know what is even more frustrating for a lot of people who go to court, Dr. Akinreti and Mr. Salami, it is almost impossible for you to prove that a presidential election was rigged against you. Almost impossible, because of the provisions, what you need to do, the number of witnesses you need to bring across, the number of agents across the country and everything. The processes are all, can't we retweak something and make it less cumbersome for people?
Lawrence, if late F.R. Williams were to draft the electoral law, Nigerians will still find a way
around it.
You see, the fault is not in our stars, but in ourselves. It's attitudinal. A man who knows that the wife will not vote for him and the children will still tell you that he won the election. Hands down. So, you see, when you, of all deceit, I've been saying it, that self-deceit is the worst. And it's attitudinal and perhaps psychological. There is the need for us to have a mindset reset. What's bad in, what's the big deal in saying that, yes, I lost this election. It was free, it was fair, I lost. And you congratulate
the winner.
The winner. Is it too much of a thing?
It is. After putting in so much money.
Yeah. Well, that is it's not impossible for people to lose the election and say, correlate and say, oh, yes, I lost the election. Again, I'm bringing the example of Guinea-Conakry. Even the opposition, one of the opposition leader that filed the petition, withdrew the petition before the Constitutional Court ruled that Mbaye won the election finally. Even here, President Jonathan has demonstrated this act of statesmanship. I'm sure some of his supporters then didn't like what he did.
Yes, a lot.
Conceding the election, conceding victory.
And some of them are in government.
So APC, and some are in government now. So that's the reality. That's what I'm talking about. But I believe that there's nothing that is impossible in politics. Nothing. Even in this world itself, there's always an alternative. If people are ready to follow, to follow the route. What is important is for all of us that, do you really want to get these things right at all? If at our subconscious, we always get, yes, let's move on. Individually we can make sacrifice, and if you don't want to make sacrifice individually, and want to leave it to the crowd or to your supporters to decide for you, obviously there's no way you can concede the defeat in an election in Nigeria.
Lawrence, you know what really came to my mind now? History will recall Jonathan positively. What former President Jonathan did, even Trump couldn't do it.
Yeah.
And if President Jonathan had discussed this thing with his followers,
especially his kitchen cabinet,
he would not have achieved it. What he has going for him up till today was that singular decision to concede, not even only concede, to pick up his phone and congratulated President Buhari.
Even before the conclusion of the
counting
of the votes.
Yeah. Of the votes.
Yeah.
it is not unusual, but it's uncommon. And even I want to repeat it. Yet, despite the fact that President Trump disgraced democracy and America, Americans still voted him. So you can now see democracy at work. Truly, I give it to Abdul Uru, who titled his own book.
Demonstration of Chris. All right, still talking about party politics. You see, I think today is that dominating discussion. We move on to Kano State. The NNPP is and former governor of the state is saying that Governor Yusuf can take the NNPP mandate to APC, just like Kwankwaso did now. What is the problem? Telling Kwankwaso, why are you crying now that somebody that was voted on the platform of NNPP is going to APC? But you too took PDP.
That is, you see, what I was talking about? Look, every other thing. Look, Kwankwaso now is struggling for political survival. I have a colleague in the office, a member of Kwankwasia. And each time I say, Kwankwasia say Amana. I said Amana, I say Kwankwasia.
Amana means what?
No, trust.
Okay, trust. Okay.
And so when there are developments like this, because he's one of our drivers, I just always like to tease him. But I know when it comes to the intellectual discussion, there's no way these guys will not fall apart. Look, the governor of Kano now has made up his mind, right? No matter what everyone will say, because he's also looking at his own second time, his own survivor, and he can get the ticket on the platform. Look, if the tribunal have ruled against NNPP, I did the governor, what will have happened? APC will have won. They will have to claim the victory in Kano. We shouldn't forget that it was a real battle. It was real legal battle up to the end. That the APC
because had to give. The tribunal
was that is it. So I think the governor of Kano presently must have sit back and said, look, what is going to happen? What is my last political interest? My last political interest is for me to come back as second by the governor and then go to the ruling party where it's almost about 70% for me. Getting the ticket is straight up, but then winning the elections will be about 70%. And with what is going to be on the ground, because there's going to be a lot of alignment and as my brother keep on saying, Kano, Lagos, and Rivers, they hold the aces in 2020 election to decide the winner of the presidential election. And of course, the three governors in those states, are extremely important to the survival of democracy in this country. So for me, look, Kwankwaso by now should also sit back and do a self-analysis. Yes, where does my interest lies? If for him to have said, if any political party that is giving me presidential tickets or VP slots, I will go with him. No, can you imagine that kind of a statement? So he's sending a signal to his supporters. And because it's only just one state, Kano, he knows that after Kano, it's all over. So he's also struggling to see how he can, maintain his political interest within Kano.
You see, in life, no condition is permanent. And there is no problem that doesn't have its own expiry date. There's no way you look at the issue of Kano without looking at two things. You look at the judiciary. How did Abba Gida how did he become governor? You look at the judiciary and you look at political arithmetic as it is today. One, what happened in Plateau State was what happened in Kano. I hope you understand what I'm saying.
Remember.
It was clearly a political decision for whatever reason. And it was not lost on the governor. So you see, the invincibility of Kwankwaso is a myth. as it is now. There is no doubt that he has his own cult followership. But there is this greater picture ahead, which the governor is seeing. Are you there?
Yeah.
And this shows one thing, that in politics, what is permanent
Interest.
is interest. Come to look at it. If you look at yesterday's newspaper, the governor congratulated Ganduje on his birthday. I marked it and I said, to Salmon, this is political POL 101. So let me leave it at that, please.
All right, gentlemen, before we go, let's take a look at disturbing or imminent challenge we are likely to face in the health sector. Because, one, there's a story of the Lassa fever death toll going up despite the drop in new cases. And now we understand that resident doctors are bracing up for another round of industrial action in the next 5 days. This is something that should really bother us across the spectrum. Let me start from you, Dr. Akinriti.
You're absolutely right. Anything that has to do with the health of a person is also of a great concern. And obviously, we all know that the health sector is also hemorrhaging. As apart from infrastructure issue, we also have challenges of capacity building. We also have, quite a lot of it. And then you also have the present minister, and both the minister and then his Minister of State. They are quite a good professional that they are pushing on. They are bringing so many strategies. They are bringing so many plans to ensure that the health we get it right within the health sector. But the challenges are extremely huge. For we cannot afford another industrial action in the health sector for now. The health sector is too fragile for us to allow it to happen. I know at the end of the day, there can still be negotiations, and then so that they will be able to call it off. But if they don't, honestly, it's going to spell disaster. Because even at the time we are now, currently, look at the climate, issue of climate change, look at the weather conditions. A lot of people are falling sick, and then, and if you also have the issue of increase in Lassa fever, and our level of hygiene is also abysmal. It's so poor. And only few people can really sustain their own lifestyle. So I want to appeal to government to see what they can do within 3 days. Call the doctors and they come to Iranti. Let them have a discussion, dispassionate discussion, and see how they can, attend to their grievances.
All right, Mr. Salami, Dr. Kennedy made a very valid point there when it has to do with personal hygiene being abysmally poor. And if you look at especially the rural areas, one thing that is lacking is potable water. What people in other parts of the world take for granted. Potable water. And this is at the core of a lot of illnesses that you find at that level.
You see, let me begin by saying that if you lose money, you have not lost anything. If your house is burned, you have not lost much. The moment you lose your health, you have lost. Health is wealth. And we should not toy with our health. So the government should not toy with the healthcare facility of this country. There's still need for the government to do more. Primary health care is the most important. Why am I saying this? Prevention is not only better than cure, it's cheaper. Why is it that we always allow things to happen before we begin to? We have said it times and times over that the government should be alive and kicking. They should engage the workers constructively in such a way that you don't wait on the last minute before you begin this fire brigade approach to solving problem. Thank God that the Minister of State and the substantive minister, they are our friends. In fact, we had a session with the Minister of State the other time. We will see how we can. That is what journalism is all about. The people that our people, the masses, cannot see and meet, we don't know before we see them. And when we see them, since we are the ears and the eyes of the people, we should speak truth to power. And there is a need for the government to engage the doctors, the health workers, constructively today, not tomorrow. Never again should we have strike in the health sector.
All right.
We can ill afford it.
Thank you so much, gentlemen. It's always a pleasure to have you on the show. Thank you so much, Dr. Akinriti, for finding time to honor our invitation.
We also need to talk about.
Almost forgot. yes. Today is the D-Day.
Yes.
And one of the most important figures when it comes to unionism, when it comes to welfare of workers in Nigeria. Our father, our grandfather, our mentor to so many people in the country today celebrating his 90th birthday. I'll leave Dr. Akinriti to speak more on that.
Well, obviously, we are excited, we are happy today that Farapa Hassan Sumonu, the labor leader, the individual labor leader, the man who provided the opportunity for us to have a minimum wage. You know, he also provides so many platforms for industrial harmony, and then keeping the struggle of the union alive every now and then. And for every negotiation that has to do with Nigerian worker or the well-being of Nigerians, Pa Hassan Sumonu is always at the forefront. So today is his day, and we want to celebrate him and thank him for the service he has offered to Nigerians, and of course to the continent as a whole, because he left as the labor leader and then went to Ghana to represent Nigeria and even Africa at OATU as the Secretary General of OATU, Organization of African Trade Union Congress. So it is really, really amazing. So the story of Hassan Sumonu and his twin brother is about service, is about humanity, and of course, it's also about believing in oneself that I can achieve it, you know. And so, for me, I'm a beneficiary of both of them for what they're able to do for me. So I'm also excited today that I'm alive to celebrate them. So we thank them for the service they have offered to this country.
All right, Mr. Salami, it's always beautiful to be celebrated while you are alive. And I'm sure that this is what will be going on in the minds of Pastor Sumonu today.
One word is enough to describe Pa Hassan Sumonu: altruism. He lived so that we too can be alive. And God has been kind to him. Lawrence, for somebody to have stayed on this terrestrial plane called Earth for 90 years is no mean feat. Congratulations, Baba.
Congratulations, Daddy. Congratulations for your love, for your impact on a lot of generations. Even those who were not born when you were reading will read about it. They are reading about it. They've seen, even those who came after labor leaders, upon labor leaders and everything. Impact has been phenomenal. Once again, on behalf of everyone here, Citizen FM, we say happy birthday, Daddy. All right, that's our package on the show today. Tomorrow it's another day, 7 a.m., bright and early. My name is Lawrence Sumoiti. Enjoy the rest of your day.